Hello guys. In this video I'm going to discuss advanced coloring techniques in Flash. Um, this video and methodology is completely optional, and I'm only putting it out there to show you that you can take any of your creations and really make it sing. So these are some procedures in coloring that I have come up with my own and on my own, and what it involves is using two layers to manipulate a shape that represents a shadow, and then cutting and pasting that shape onto the colored layer, and then using gradients and fills to match the intended shadows that you already have displayed. So let me just zoom in and give you an example of what I mean. So I have all these defining shadows now displayed throughout this character that give each part a more volumetric appeal. With something like this, it really helps to understand and know your anatomy. Otherwise, you might not be able to get your desired effect. But all in all, if you know a shape is rounded, it's just like putting the shading on a sphere. So let's take these goggles and let's give them some shadow underneath here. So what I will do is I will lock this layer, and this layer I have labeled lines is actually the layer with this artwork here. So if I click the eye, you can see that that's the layer. I'm going to lock it so I don't affect it, and I'm going to work on this layer 2 right above it to make the shape, the initial shape. So to start, I'm going to use a rectangle. Now I want to change a couple things on this rectangle. First, I want the stroke to be a hairline stroke, and what that allows me to do is make minute adjustments without the stroke actually getting in the way of what I intend to do. And second, I want to get rid of the fill, so I'll click it and delete it. So now I have this line. It's already closed off, so whatever I do, I'll be able to fill it in with whatever color I choose. And also, now that it's on a layer above it, I can constantly make adjustments without it interfering with what's underneath it. I do have snapping on, and I'm going to use that initially to snap this corner to this line. See how it snaps to the layer underneath it, which is really convenient. And I'll leave this one somewhere in the middle, and I'll snap it to that corner. And maybe I should zoom in to make sure that I'm getting the right placement. And now I'm going to zoom, or excuse me, I'm going to snap this corner to this outside edge. Now I'm going to take snapping off and adjust this shape. Do my best to match this curve. I might actually have to bring that corner down there. Let's take snapping off one more time. There we go. And this normally will take a little bit of time, but to get the best effect, it's worth it to adjust it. Alright, so this shape right here is going to represent the shadow, and I'm going to do it again on this eye. So I'll create another rectangle, get rid of the fill, and turn snapping on. Grab the corner, snap it to about here. Okay, I'm going to take snapping off and adjust these curves. I'm going to adjust this curve to give it that rounded look. Alright, so now that I have these shapes, I will just click on layer 2 and see how my shapes and lines are now all selected, and I will cut them. There's two ways to cut them. You can go to edit and click cut, or you can use Command X. Let them cut. I will now lock layer 2 and unlock and select the lines layer. You can label this whatever you like, whatever helps keep track of it. You can see that it's selected because this is completely highlighted. Now you want to paste in place. I want to paste them exactly in the place that I created them. So you can either go to edit and click paste in place, or you can hit Shift Command V. So now these are actually on the right layer. So I'm going to take a little bit of a swatch and a reference of this gradient that's already used on these goggles using my eyedropper tool. And you can see that all the information on that gradient is right here. And since I want this to be represent what's already there but show more shadow, I'm going to take this color and drop it down, make it much darker. And this color. Actually, let's back up a couple times. Control Z, Control Z. Too far. Paste in place. Take a reference of this. Okay, so I'm actually going to keep this color the same. So double click here and I can. Now both of these are the same color, and I will make this one darker. And now I'm going to apply it here. And I will apply it there. If I hit F, remember I'll have to switch between linear and radial. And now I can really expand it so it's keeping the same information. Expand it. Might help if I zoom out. I think that looks pretty good. I'm going to do the same thing for this one. Switch between linear and radial. I don't want to give it the same information or controls as this goggle because it is its own entity, so I want to make sure it has its own information. Looks pretty good. I'll double click this line, and there you go. I have this extra added shadow to it that gives those goggles some weight. Makes them stick out better. Alright, for the rest of this video, I'm going to proceed to finish putting shadows on this character, but I'm going to speed it up so the whole procedure will be much quicker, at least 200 to 400 times as fast as it really took me to do it. So, enjoy. And there you have it. That's how I go about getting all this detail into a piece of art, a painting essentially, in Flash. And I'm looking forward to see what you come up with for your characters. Remember, they don't have to be as detailed, but you know, whatever you want to try, I'm available to help you out. So if there's something you're interested in and you just can't quite figure it out, make an appointment, see me in class, shoot me an email, and we'll see what we can't do. So thank you again.